That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Jason David Frank.
Boom shakalaka.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. Take a minute right now, hit subscribe, come back over and over again. We got artists, authors, filmmakers, creative minds of all kinds on the Hangin' with Web Show. We are here at Authors in a Box in the Indian River Mall in Vero, Florida, hosted by author Joanne Fisher. And we are hanging out right now with author Debbie Zaken. Yes. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
I did that right. You guys are all going to read it in the comments there. Zaken. That's how you pronounce it. So now you can go out and you can tell everybody what to buy you for Christmas because you know the author's name. All right? Debbie is the author of Colliding Skies. Debbie, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is your first book.
It is my first book.
Wow.
Yes. It's my
See,
first
look, you can always tell you have the glimmer of hope behind your eyes. She still has that fresh author face. Yes, very nice. Tell us a little bit about Colliding Skies.
So Colliding Skies is a young adult sci-fi.
Okay.
I would call it a light sci-fi. So it's like
Light
sci-fi
sci-fi?
for people who are like not so into sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Okay. All right. I'm following you there.
Not so into sci-fi.
Okay.
And
This is your sci-fi entry level.
yeah.
That's right. This is you
Kinda
go
like your
into sci-fi through
easing you
Colliding
into
Skies. That's
sci-fi.
right.
Yeah.
And then later we'll pile on like Dune.
Like the yes.
That's right. Like
Yeah.
the Frank Herbert
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a first-time author.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask you the same question your mother asked you. What?
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Well, I guess one, I've always, like most authors, always loved reading. I've always loved reading. And I don't know. I used to write as a child.
Okay.
I do remember that. And then I somehow stopped when in like middle school, high school, because I guess I didn't think it was cool enough.
It's because our parents look at us and go, no. Law school, med school,
But I
business
always kept
school.
on reading. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, I don't know, I just had this idea, like this idea for the story came to me and I said, all right, I'll try it.
Awesome.
And unfortunately, I got hooked and really enjoyed
As
it.
one does.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just got more and more.
If you have an artist in your brain and you indulge that artist one time,
Yeah.
they own you from now
Yeah.
on. They do. They come right out and now you have to write.
Yeah.
You're a writer.
Just got more and more involved in the writing community and the writing process and yeah.
So have you been making the rounds, doing some signings and doing some events like this?
This is my third event.
Okay.
My book came out in March of this year, 2018. So
You're meeting some readers.
I'm meeting some readers.
What do they think so far?
So far, so good. I mean, I've been, I avoid checking reviews. I have somebody who does that for me.
Very wise.
And they send me all the good stuff.
There are two places that a new writer never looks. Number one, early reviews,
Yes.
because you don't want to know yet.
Yeah.
Get used to the community first. Number two, royalty reports. Stay away from
Yeah.
the royalty reports.
True.
You can become obsessed.
Yes, you can.
That the first-time author, generally speaking, will end up going like once a day. Did anybody buy my book? Did anybody buy my book?
Yeah.
You have to get away from it. We tell our first-time authors there are always two places that you shouldn't look. One is obviously your early reviews because you really don't want to know yet.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
ease in. And then the next one is your royalty reports.
Yes.
Because you can check, as an independent or a small press author, you can check those every day and it can
Yeah.
become an obsession.
True.
And here's the truth, guys. You don't want to know till the end of the month. You want your first $4.50 check to be a surprise. It's a good surprise. It's just you. If you're watching it grow one nickel at a time, it's going to frustrate you.
Yes.
We don't want you to do that. So you said you just kind of had the story for Colliding Skies. So where did this come from?
That's a good question. I think the main idea came to me from a song, which sounds really lame as I say it out loud, but it did came to me from a
Pretty
song.
cool to me. I think that's pretty cool.
I just remember the moment.
If every time I heard a song, I could write a new book. Yeah, baby.
I just remember the moment. I was driving, had dropped off my kids
Do you remember
at
the song?
preschool. Yeah, I do.
What was it?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
It's a song by a British band called Muse, called Starlight.
Starlight by Muse.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to drop a link down below so everybody else can hear what you heard.
Okay.
And then they'll want the book.
So yeah, so I was just driving and I've heard that song a million times, but then it just sort of, I just saw like a video, like an old school MTV video in my head. And then I'm like, wow. And then I just started thinking about it more and thinking about it more. And I honestly, no, I'll be honest, I played the song on repeat like 20,000 times. And towards the end of that day, I kind of had the basic idea.
Story in your mind, yeah.
And then
awesome.
I found the key that works for me as an author and inspiration is actually really music.
It is. Believe it or not, and you said it sounded really lame to you, but you want to hear something really cool. One of our Hanging with Web Show alumnus is New York Times bestselling author Kevin J. Anderson. And he writes a series of steampunk fiction novels, all based on his reactions to the band Rush.
Oh, that's really cool.
And last year, when we interviewed him for the first time, he was putting out an anthology series that he was actually working on in collaboration with the band Rush.
Oh, wow.
So, and they were a series of authors writing. It was 2113, which was based on 2112 by Rush.
That's awesome.
And so he was collaborating with some other authors and with the band to produce the thing. So music is art. It's storytelling.
It's definitely storytelling.
It's storytelling in 3 minutes as opposed to 200 pages.
300, but who's counting?
We are. No, we don't count pages, people. We count words. Every word counts. That's right. So give us the book blurb. Tell us a little bit about the story here.
So the story is about a girl called Sky, and she's kind of a, very high-achieving, typical high school student. She's a senior, and she kind of has all her life mapped out. And then something happens, which is like, in short, aliens land on Earth. Which
does tend to put a little bit of a wrinkle in your 5-year plan, because that's not on most people's 5-year plans.
Yeah, and then she kind of ends up meeting one of the aliens, and they don't really, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say there's some romance and there's some interspecies stuff, and it's kind of fun. And we never really know what the intention, supposedly, not supposedly, but the aliens are here to help humankind. Okay. But we're not sure. Are they really or are they not? You have to read the book to find out.
The notion of the unknown is always just that. It's unknown.
Yes.
And anything that we apply to the unknown is our own speculation. So if you're a naturally frightened person, they're here to invade.
Right.
And if you're a naturally hopeful person, they're here to help out.
Right.
And in point of fact, I'm sure aliens, much like people, have their own agenda.
They do.
That's
they do.
right. Yeah. So we don't get to know what that. You're going to read the book to find out what their agenda is, and how this romance is going to work out. See?
Or not.
Or not.
Yes.
That's right. It does happen. Is this a standalone work, or are you working on the follow-up?
The sequel is coming out next year, which is like literally around the corner, in 2019, next year. Probably, I don't have a date yet, but probably towards like the summer of 2019.
Towards the summer 2019?
Yeah. And it's a 2-book series, so that will be.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So from that first idea popping into your head until now, you've been out talking to readers, tabling and working as an author.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, welcome to the creative community.
Thank you.
And secondly, what's that been like for you?
It's been really awesome, honestly. A lot of my interactions, because of the genre I'm in YA, a lot of my interactions with fans and readers has been through social media. And so it's really awesome. All of a sudden you're like kind of going about your day, and I don't know, going to the supermarket, and all of a sudden you get a tweet from a reader saying, "Oh my God, I love this book. So, thank you so much, such a great book." And you're like, wow, if they only knew how not glamorous I am as I put that gallon of milk in my shopping cart. But yeah, it's been really awesome.
It is. It's a lot of fun to see people react to you as an artist. Because in your daily life, everybody who knows you is just like, she went to the store, or she's going to pick somebody up from school or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're reading about yourself online as if you were a whole other person. That author is so this, and you're like, really, I'm not. I don't know anything. Who is that person you're talking about? So it's really kind of cool. Writers form good writing habits if we're lucky. Okay, we have a favorite place. What's your favorite place to write?
My favorite place is actually my kitchen table.
Your kitchen table?
Yeah, yeah. But in a specific seat. It has to be the seat that faces the window so I can look at our backyard.
Nice.
With a cup of coffee or tea towards the end of the day, depending on what time it is. And water. And I always have music playing in the background.
Always have music playing in the background? Keeps you motivated, right?
Yeah.
Favorite writing snack?
Favorite writing snack? Probably something that has to do with chocolate. So depending on, you know, it's either...
That's just favorite snack, period. That's
sometimes it'll be like cookies.
Cookies are good.
Some kind of chocolatey sort of cookie. Or just, you know, chocolate.
Just chocolate.
Yes.
Just bring on the chocolate.
Yeah, but I do need
You want 100,000 words, you bring her chocolate.
And
That's
coffee.
the way it works. And coffee.
I can't function without coffee.
I don't blame you.
Cannot.
With this, buy the coffee right over there. And refill cups, just in case. Keep them lined up. It's like, you know, one on deck at all times. So, writing rituals. Do you have any specific things that you go through? Yeah, have you music?
Yeah,
right?
The music.
What kind of, what genre? What kind of music do you like to listen to when you're writing?
Usually I do like a lot of alternative rock, which is what Muse is. So usually I have something streaming online that's kind of like that.
Very cool.
It can't be too loud though. It has to be just in the background so it doesn't disrupt
So it stays in your head instead of being,
Yeah. What else? Writing ritual. Really just that coffee, and I need water and quiet.
And quiet.
Like, I don't like to write when there's other people in the house.
I don't blame you. They're distracting.
Yeah.
And they ask questions that you don't know the answers to yet.
Yeah.
They'll read over your shoulder and they'll say,
that is the worst. The reading over your shoulder.
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, what's going to happen now? And you're like, I don't know. I haven't written it yet. It's like building a world. You can't come up to rock number 3 and ask me what I'm going to do with rock number 4. I haven't figured that part out yet.
Right.
It's a puzzle. We have to wrap it up. Look, I told you she was going to do that to us. We need to wrap it up. Fine. We're going to say thank you to some of our partners and our friends. We want to thank Something Unique Magazine, Space Coast Comics, Famous Faces and Funnies, our good friend Yvonne Mason at Off the Chain Radio over on Block Talk Radio. We want to thank Pound the Grape in Melbourne Square Mall. We want to thank you for subscribing, for tuning in and logging on and hanging out with us while we hang out with Debbie Zaken, the author of Colliding Skies. Guys, check out the links down below. Remember, stay tuned in, stay logged on, and see who we're hanging with next. Thank you so much, Debbie.
You.
Awesome.